Chimera ants are strange. In Hunter x Hunter, chimera ants are a type of magical beast. Even though the first ones Gon and Killua encounter are these simple little ants with a carnivorous diet that can perform phagogenesis. However, chimera ants easily turn into practically entire new creatures every generation. And today, I'm going to explain how they work and how they got to the known world. Minor entomophobia warning, as there will be insects in it. However, most of the insect imagery in Hunter x Hunter is relatively tame, so you don't need to worry too much because, well, I can handle it, and I freak out a lot when I see bugs. And of course, there will be spoilers. First of all, we see two types of chimera ants. Sort of. The kind that Gon and Killua initially see are what I like to call the small ants. These ones are dangerous, albeit unintelligent ants that caused Kite to attack with crazy slots for the first time on screen. Although these likely still came from the Dark Continent, they've probably been on the known world for longer, but probably not too long. The second are what shall be called special ants. The first special ant we see is the Queen, who drifted ashore from the Dark Continent. How do I know she came from the Dark Continent? Because she washed ashore the NGL, Neo Green Life. But no sightings of large chimera ants, or any chimera ants for that matter, have happened outside the Balsa Islands. If the Queen drifted ashore from somewhere else in the known world, there would have been other sightings. However, I do not believe the small ants are distantly related to the special ants. I just now realized that Small Ant is a YouTuber halfway through recording this. Even though Kite said he wasn't the first one to discover the chimera ants, very few people know about them. And the ones that do treat the ants as if they're something new, indicating that they're fairly new arrivals to the known world, or at least haven't really been causing a commotion for that long. Knowing this, it can likely be determined that the special ants come from places in the Dark Continent with a higher concentration of larger life forms, humans even, as the Queen is clearly bipedal like a human, intelligent like a human, and roughly as tall as a human. And I think in the dub she said somewhere that she might have distant human DNA, but I'm not able to verify that quite so much. She also has very human teeth, and this lines up with the fact that we know there are human settlements in the Dark Continent, as we can see a city not that deep into the Dark Continent. Part of the reason the special ants have become so formidable is that human DNA is already present within them, allowing them to have bigger bodies and brains to take down bigger, stronger, and smarter prey. Now, it's time to explain phagogenesis. Phagogenesis is why chimera ants aren't just ants. Phagogenesis in Hunter x Hunter is where a female chimera ant, specifically the Queen, consumes another organism and then asexually reproduces offspring with DNA and traits from both, herself and her prey. How male chimera ants reproduce is by mating with female organisms of other species. The first few generations that the Queen Chimera Ant produces are infertile, but subsequent generations are capable of producing offspring themselves. But how does phagogenesis work? I believe that phagogenesis works by basically altering the genome of an already existing embryo. Genome editing is possible, even though it really isn't all too common in nature. However, that's not to say it necessarily cannot happen. And especially in Hunter x Hunter, weird stuff happens in nature all the time. Like, remember the Kirikos? They're interesting. CRISPR is a technology that takes DNA, cuts chunks out, and replaces it with other DNA. CRISPR technology has been used to treat genetic illnesses and other conditions some may have, by literally cutting and pasting DNA into people. What the female chimera ants do when producing offspring is using some of their own genome editing molecules to give their offspring some of the same traits as the organisms that have been consumed. However, with males, it is likely that they actually edit the genes of both their offspring and their mate. Both genomes would be altered to be more genetically compatible, ensuring that a child would indeed be born. To make all things clear, chimera ant phagogenesis works by the queen ant consuming another organism. After that, the queen ant reproduces asexually, but includes segments of the other organism's DNA, leading to the offsprings adopting characteristics that wouldn't usually be found among ants, insects, or even arthropods at all. Phagogenesis, and by proxy, chimera ants, are just one of the small quirks that make Hunter x Hunter such a well-written story. The attention to detail shown by Togashi is why the Hunter x Hunter world feels so alive. If you haven't seen it, then why did you watch this video? But seriously, I completely recommend it. Hunter x Hunter is my absolute favorite shonen anime. You can watch the 2011 version on practically every streaming service, including YouTube, and you can find the 1999 and the OVAs on specifically YouTube as well. Thank you for watching. It is much appreciated. But if you could do another little favor for me, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, have a wonderful day, and stay groovy, my fellow Ebinskis. CRISPR technology has been used to treat congenital illnesses and other conditions that may have literally... and treat other CRISPR technology CRISPR technology has been used to treat congenital illnesses and other conditions. CRISPR technology has been used to treat congenital. CRISPR technology has been used to treat